there is no more important spot when you're facing off against Central Washington than right there under the basket. Jackson, what else are we looking at?
Well, I'm looking at the stat sheet. Statistically, this could be, or the Wildcats should be the favorite for this game. We lead in every single stat except for free throw percentage. The MSUB is the worst or second worst team in the GNAC in shooting or in field goal percentage, 43. Guess who's first in the league? Your Wildcats, sitting at 49%. We just need consistent shooting from your Cats and then great defense as well on the other side of the basketball. And something else I'm noticing with Jalen Todd, as amazing of a scorer he is, that man is so inefficient. 37% from the field, 16.6 points per game. But their next leading scorer, Cale Robinson, 14.5 points per game, shooting 49%. Yeah. They might have to lean more on him than Jalen Todd, especially with our perimeter defense with guys like Maverick Sanders who can guard every level of the floor, and then Kevin Holden, who's just so elusive on the defensive end, too.
Right. Yeah, no, and let me tell you, Jackson, I mean, Jalen Todd, one of those guys that you're going to see him taking shots a lot of them are going to be mid-range, and they're going to be a step in front of the three-point line. We've seen this for years now at this point, and nobody knows this man better than you and I here. As we have called these games, every single time, he's a sidestep magician. That's just what you see. It was far more interesting in my book last year when he was being guarded by a guy like Cameron McNeil. Yep. Same thing from the year before. I mean, those are two guys that go head-to-head on the mid-range. They were shooting shots from, like I said, a step in front of the three-point line. Either that or they're sitting on the elbows somewhere. Mm-hmm. One way or another, they play very similarly. And I really do like the Wildcats' chances here tonight, seeing a more developed team from the year prior, seeing a team that really has started to shift their focus more towards the defensive side of the basketball. And you see that everywhere that you look. And one way or another, I think that Montana State Billings knows this. I don't think anybody coming into a matchup against the Wildcats can keep it out of their head. You have to force turnovers. If you're not letting the Wildcats just sit and stay and maybe have something dwindle their way in terms of a shot opportunity, then they're going to be going out there, finding their shots, and they're going to be hitting them. That's just the way that it goes. You've got some of the best playmakers on this team when it comes to seeking out open guys, and one of them just knocked me on the fist right then and there in Kevin Holden. Folks, we're about to tip right off. Jackson, any last words before this one begins?
I want to add on to what you said about the passing abilities of Kevin Holden. He leads this team in assists as well as points per game, 4.1 assists, and he's shooting very efficiently too. 44% from the three-point line, 50% on the season in the field. And we talked about the other day, two of the hottest shooting three-point shooters in the league. Jordan Clark leads the league in three-point percentage, 51%. After that, Kevin Holden falls in that fourth-place spot in the GNAC. I'm excited for tonight's matchup. Should be a great one, Ryan.
It truly should, and we are just about ready here from the Nicholson Pavilion. That one goes up, and your Wildcats are going to bring home the tip. And bringing it up is going to be Jordan Clark for the Cats here as he approaches the three-point line, going to use the screen from Brizzy, make his way forward, then step back. Now looking out left, he's going to find Maverick Sanders. Sanders collapsing from the perimeter, steps back, takes the fadeaway shot, and that one is off, right off the front of the rim. And now here come the Yellow Jackets. This one's going to be handed off to Johnson as he shoots it back towards the top of the key with Todd. Todd now back to Johnson, wearing number 3 on his back. He's going to move it to Todd, and then this one going to be shot out left. A quick layup is attempted, but that one nowhere near it. Robinson on the attempt there. Now here's Anderson on the drive for the Cats. He's going to step back, hit Kevin Holden, who's going to attempt a three ball. That one's going to be handed right back to him. Return to sender, say the Yellow Jackets, and they do it again. So now only 13 seconds really to develop a play for the Cats here. It's Garrett Anderson to Mitch Brizzy from the outside.
Oh, we talked about it the other day, Ryan. If they give him the shot, might as well attempt it. He sure did there.
One way or another, you love to see a Mitch Brizzy three-ball try. Now it's Robinson. He's going to move this one out left to famous left hand. Now back inside for Robinson, and he's going to get that one every time.
Second leading scorer on the team. Man, Todd almost tried to get that ball there.
Now Jordan Clark on the drive. Puts it up. That one's going to be blocked. And the defense already showing through for the Yellow Jackets.
3.6 blocks per game for MSUB. They're already at 3.
And so now the inbound for the Cats getting ready on the other end. It'll be Clark, the inbounder. 0-2, your current score. Almost a buck and a half into this first quarter of action. First half of action. Same thing. for the most part. Here's Garrett Anderson receiving it on the inbound. Matched up with Jalen Tott. Definitely a size mismatch there if they're going to use it, but instead they'll switch on to Jordan Clark.
They're running
now
the zone
the pass
defense.
to Brizzy. That they are. So Mitch Brizzy here. Back to Garrett Anderson. Anderson collapsing from the outside, and he's going to get that one every time. Fills the lane perfectly. 2 to the Cats.
Want to see the San Jose State transfer get more of those shots up.
And now on the other end. Looked like they were going to give it to Todd. Instead, it's kept by Robinson. Now, famous left hand. And that one is off. That is his name, ladies and gentlemen.
With the right-handed shot as well, with something to note it.
You know, that one's always kind of gotten to me. You'd think that if your last name was left-hand, you'd just kind of teach your kids to shoot left-handed.
You got to try it out a little bit.
It's just kind of part of the gimmick, if you will. Though, I will say, not a gimmick.
However you score.
Last name. All right, Jordan Clark matched up with Jalen Tott here. Still trying to make his way forward. He hits Brizzy. Brizzy now for a scrolling in Kevin Holden. 2 more points.
Facilitating the offense is the big man.
So the first shot of the night fallen for the Wildcats, 1. Now on the other end, it's the Yellow Jackets, 1, attempting the mid-range, and that one is off. Just like we told you, folks, mid-range is about a step to a step and a half in front of the three-point line. Now Garrett Anderson on the outside, right side. He hits it to Brizzy. Brizzy now sets the screen for Garrett Anderson, who's got his man right behind him. And there he is on the inside, snakes it in for 2.
Garrett Anderson, the left-handed finish as well, able to get that one up. Not his typical hand that he finishes with inside the paint.
Hey, and let me tell you, Jackson, we've been waiting to see a big breakout performance from him all season long. Now Robinson driving in on Brizzy. And that one's going to go. A great spin move to make his way to the basket.
I love the defense the Wildcats have through the perimeter with inside with Mitch Brizzy, and the rest of the perimeter with Kevin Holden and Maverick Sanders. It's just really great defense that the Wildcats have. There's a reason why we're one of the best teams in not allowing too many points on the season.
So now Kevin Holden going to hit Maverick Sanders. He's got an open lane on the drive and give him 2.
And the foul as well, man.
So just like that, an and one opportunity for Maverick Sanders, the Wildcat 4, who's really had a great season for himself. I mean, we were throwing out words like breakout season last year, but I think really coming into his own this year and having that starting spot for himself no matter what. He's going to miss the free throw on that one, as the band's mystical ways do not, in fact, benefit him on that trip to the charity stripe. But on the other end now, the Yellow Jackets moving it around. Here's famous left hand getting it stripped away. Garrett Anderson now on the drive for the Cats. Approaching the three-point line. He hands it off to Kevin Holden. Holden now looks like he's going to use the screen from Brizzy. Instead, he goes out right. Steps back, gets his man lost, throws it up for Brizzy, who will score!
Man, the little alley-oop there just sat on the rim, sitting there, and just decided to eventually fall in, but great touch by Brizzy, and what a find from Kevin Holden. We saw it flip the other way just a little bit ago. Now it goes in the other direction.
So Todd going to move this one over to DeWitt. And then now left hand for Robinson. Robinson's foot comes just an inch away from the backcourt violation as he drives in against Brizzy. Now looks like he wants it on the outside. Instead, he's going to pass it to his man Johnson. Johnson to the outside on the drive. Now they looked like they wanted Robinson, but it's going to get poked away. Here comes Maverick Sanders and the Wildcats. He loses it. And now the Yellow Jackets bringing it back. This one being moved around the outside. Jalen Tott with his first shot of the night to fall. Give him 3.
He makes it harder for himself. He's always moving every single shot, but hey, that one falls down. Whatever works for you, Tott.
So now Mitch Brizzy on the outside, holding it for the Cats. He's going to move this one quickly now to Kevin Holden. Holden takes the 3, misses it. Rebound goes to Tott.
He's the hot hand from the other day. Keep it going.
Now Jalen Tott to famous left hand, who takes it and makes it.
Man, just cannot land in the shooter's landing area. And that's exactly what Kevin Holden does. Foul on number 2.
So just like that, yeah, it's going to give them an extra shot after the break here. Now, we're going to go ahead and just talk a little bit more about what this matchup holds in store for both of your two teams. Now, talking about the Wildcats in specific, there's a couple of things that we wanted to see from them coming into this matchup, and some of these more depend on what the other team's going to throw at them, what the other team is able to put together on the court. But let me tell you, the Wildcats have one thing that always gets carried with them into every game that they go to, whether or not it's against a good team, a poorer team, a team high in the rankings, a team low in the rankings. You got to have good ball security. The Wildcats fall into these ruts sometimes where they lose it and lose it and lose it and lose it. And really, you just can't run into that tonight. You're facing against a team that, while maybe not the most statistically demeaning, the most statistically intimidating, if you will. This is a team that's able to scrap it out and put together good shots when they need them. I'm scared a little bit when it comes to the later stages of the game. If these guys start to lose some energy and they're just kind of taking the shots that they're able to get to, this is the kind of rut that the Wildcats have fallen into in the past, where it's just like, okay, you gave me the ball, it's time to shoot. What I'd like to see the Wildcats do is, while keeping ball security in mind, make that next pass. Look for who's going to be open. And don't just wait for someone to be open, make them open. There are so many guys on this team that can play make better than they know even themselves, and I'd love to see it here tonight.
And we have amazing off-ball offensive players, too. They can get the ball and get themselves open in their own hands. They don't need to do it just by setting screens. Kevin Holden, even with the ball in his hand, can get crazy step backs. We've seen the same with Jordan Clark. And to set them a screen off-ball, too, they can run around that. There's enough room for them to pull up a shot.
Yeah, and above that, you talked about taking good shots earlier in the game, Jackson, and talked about the statistical prowess of the Wildcats in terms of field goal percentage. Yep. My last key for them in this matchup, they just got to keep taking them good shots, man. Over the last 3 games, each one of them, the team has had a combined 52+% field goal percentage from the field, of course. And so now the Wildcats, after that free throw, trail by 1. Kevin Holden going to bring it up for the Cats, filling that left side lane. He's got Maverick Sanders out right. Out left, he's got Garrett Anderson working against Jalen Tott, who really not falling for any of the dribble moves here. He's going to get Kevin Holden on that one, and that's going to force a turnover. Here comes Tott on the drive. He's blocked by Brizzy. And they're going to blow the whistle on that one, I'd imagine. I couldn't hear it, but yep, they blew it.
Out of bounds. Not a foul, though.
No.
Wow, so it was a great job by Kevin Holden after the turnover to get there, at least be in defensive position, but then Brizzy comes up and cleans it up, sends it flying to the sidelines.
Yeah, Brizzy came down like a blanket over top of Jalen Tott there. I could have swore there would have been a foul called. But now we're going to see it as it's going to be called
off-ball foul,
yeah.
a little too handsy.
Interesting there is it almost looked like they were calling it against number 5, but it must have been Maverick Sanders. Or excuse me, no, it was, apparently it was Jordan Clark, who is not on the court. So we'll see what that ends up being in a little while, as famous left hand going to receive it now for the Yellow Jackets. Steps back, now takes the mid-range, misses. Rebound to Bradley Swilly, first of the night. Here comes Sanders, filling that right side lane. He's got Kevin Holden out right. He's got Brizzy out left, and that's the way it'll go. One more time that way, as it's to Williams. Eli Williams. We haven't seen a whole lot from tonight, but he's going to take some major contact from Jalen Tott there. The referees do not blow the whistle, as now Maverick Sanders gets a couple men jumping, makes his way to 2.
Yeah, got them stuck up in the air. It felt like they were up there for a while.
Yeah, I mean,
struggling to breathe in that atmosphere.
Now Tott going to send it over to Robinson. Robinson now out left for Johnson. On the drive now is Johnson against Williams. And that one's going to make its way out of bounds. That's Wildcat ball.
The interior defense of this Wildcat team right now is looking so great. Some of the best that I've seen all season. As we get a stoppage of play real quick. Looks like there's some substitutions.
Yeah.
As Jaquan Tott checks in, the brother of Jalen Tott, number 2 and 20 are on the court side by side.
Very good defensive guards, both of them. You have to keep that in mind. Those are the only 2 players on this Montana State Billings team that have both racked up over a steal a game, if I'm thinking correctly, though. I'll have Jackson check that for me. As here's Mitch Brizzy handing it off to Swilly. Bradley Swilly uses the screen, takes the step back. Now he's looking for somebody, and he'll find Maverick Sanders. Sanders heading out left. Stopping. He's turning around and flipping it out to Holden on the outside. Kevin Holden now to Maverick Sanders. They got 5 seconds to work with. He's on the drive, takes the scroll away, shot, and nails it.
Adjustments, just a little short on the first one he took of those. That one's just on the money, nothing but nets.
And so now it's going to be Robinson DeWitt with the ball. He's going to take the mid-range. Missed the mid-range. Rebound Holden. Kevin Holden now. Bringing it up for the Cats. Stopping and shooting it out left. Sanders' screen is going to be used a whole lot, as now Holden to the corner. Bradley Swilly. That one is off. Rebound Sanders, though. And off the offensive rebound, he's blocked. But they're going to call that a foul.
2 shots coming up for Maverick Sanders.
Okay.
Already had 1 on the line following the and 1 opportunity. Did miss it. So 0 for 1 so far. We'll see if he can use his 70% free throw percentage to maybe bring that to 2 out of 3 here. And it would bring the Wildcats up to a 5-point lead. As of now, it sits at 3.
Yeah, the foul there called against Cooper DeWitt, the 6'6" forward out of Pasco.
And to talk about the steals, DeWitt is one of the 3 Billings defenders who averages over a steal per game. But you were right; the other 2 are the top brothers. Jawan Todd at 1.3, Jalen at 2.
Yeah, and just like that, Maverick Sanders going to hit his first free throw. Substitution here for the Cats as Mitch Brizzi will check out for the big man for the Wildcats.
Maverick looks very comfortable. He's taking early shots, and they're high percentage shots, too. I love those fadeaways, little Dirk-esque fadeaways that he's able to make them fall. We've seen him do it plenty of times.
Well, and that's just what you want to see. Now we'll see how the Wildcats, with Calvin Sisk joining their ranks, will do on defense. Bringing it up here is going to be Jawan Tott. He's going to move it over to his brother, who will draw a foul and hit a shot that does not matter.
And Ferris Kasem checks into the game. That is a big body, so that's likely the reason why we bring in Calvin Sisk to match that level of height here on the floor. Big number 44.
And so now it's going to be Jawan Todd moving this one out left for Johnson. Johnson going to send his way in off that left side. Now pass to the top with Jawan Todd. Moves it to his brother Jalen. Jalen Todd on the drive. Step back. Midi makes it. That was magic from the mid-range there as he pulls up from the free throw line. Now on the other end, the Wildcats and Eli Williams looking to get something together. It's going to be Sisk on the reception. He's going to hand this one off to Bradley Swilly. Swilly and Jawan Tott facing off here. Swilly on the drive. Does a good job to evade the defender on the outside. Now Maverick Sanders going to run into the same problem, keep it in his hands, and avoid the jump ball, though the shot is not good.
What a find, though, on his butt. Finds the open man, Eli Williams, just can't finish.
And so now it's Jalen Tott driving, puts it up, misses, can't get it over Sisk.
Wildcats have numbers here.
Yeah, it's like trying to shoot a shot over the ground. Oh, now on the other end, Maverick Sanders going to score again. Like I was going to say, it's like trying to get a shot up over the Empire State Building on the inside. As now Jawan Tott working his way against Clark. He shoots it out right, and it's going to be Robinson now to Tott to Kasem, and Kasem hands it off once again to Tott. Now this one over to Johnson. Takes that same mid-range from the free throw line, and he can't hit it. Rebound Sisk. A good job using the big body there to get that rebound. And now Jordan Clark working against Jawan Tott, using the screen a couple of times. Drags him forward, now hits the big man, who will be fouled on his way up.
Man, that's like King Kong and Godzilla in the paint right there. Those are some 2 big fellas.
Yeah, it really is a couple of guys that you got to look up at there.
Hope Sisk is good, too. He's holding his neck a little bit. Nothing you want to mess around with, but seems to be okay.
Let me tell you, man, when you've got all 7'1" of Ferris Kasem from Tunisia, then, yeah, my neck would be hurting too.
That's not going to be a comfortable feeling for sure.
So while I make it past the thought of my neck hurting, I'm going to send it off to a break. We'll be back in about 30 here on 88.1 The Berg and your CW Athletics live stream. .88.1 The Berg, your music central, as well as the CW Athletics live stream. Folks, you are hearing the voices of Ryan Gildersleeve on play-by-play commentary alongside my good buddy Jackson Roberts, who's doing color for us today. Now, what a matchup it's been, Jackson, and I got to ask, what do you think has been the biggest factor for these two teams in this matchup?
It's got to be Maverick Sanders, 10 points already on the game as Sisk banks one home for the free throw, gives us a 19-13 lead. But, yeah, it's got to be Maverick Sanders. I mean, he's already such a high-level defender in the GNAC, debatably one of the best ones in the conference. But also, when he's putting up points like this, he's nearly unstoppable, Ryan.
And so the second shot by Sisk will be off. Almost thought he was coaching our football team for a second there. As Jawan Tott going to bring it up, hand it off now to DeWitt. DeWitt now coming in on that right side, being guarded by Jamari Harris here. And this one's going to get poked out of his pocket. Jamari Harris comes into the game and immediately impacts it.
Yeah, we're normally seeing him with his high-flying efforts to the rim. Instead, gets it done on the defensive end there. Just a fingertip on the ball there, knocked it out of the hands of DeWitt.
So now Eli Williams brings it up as he shoots this one out right for Swilly. Swilly towards the top of the key goes the pass, and he hits Sisk. Sisk now gives it right back to him, and Swilly is going to lose it on his attempt. Now bringing it back are the Yellow Jackets here. It's Johnson with the ball in hand. The battle of threes here. Step back three for Johnson, and he's going to miss. Rebound now goes to the 7-footer. He's going to stop and miss the hook shot. Rebound goes to the other 7-footer as Sisk drags that one down. Now Bradley Swilly moves it over to Clark. Clark, inside opportunity for Sisk, and the whistles will blow as a foul seems to have been called on Kasem.
Well, I'll tell you what, Kasem kind of looks lost so far with Calvin Sisk. All he can really do right now is foul him. And if that's going to be the case, I mean, even have, well, they're going to take him out of the game now, but even have Mitch Brizzy on him, that might be a heck of a matchup right there.
Yeah, I mean, and let me tell you, it's just one of those things where, you know, you want to put the stronger, bigger defender on the taller, skinnier guy. That's just the way that it's going to end up going no matter what basketball game you're watching.
Lazy turnover there from the Wildcats as well as Maverick Sanders just loses grasp of it.
And so now the inbound going to be coming from Cooper DeWitt, the forward out of Pasco, Washington. Hometown boy.
DeWitt's the sixth man in scoring, but really they use their top 5 guys to score. After that, it kind of falls off.
So now Robinson with the ball in hand. He's working now against Bradley Swilly. Driving that shoulder forward. Almost gets it stolen by Sanders, and he's going to miss this one off the back iron. Great defense from the Cats, just continuing drive over drive. As now Swilly shoots it out left, and it's Williams. Williams now inside opportunity for Sanders. Sanders working against left hand, puts it up, and that one's off.
That was a very tough shot to make. Probably could have dished it out to a Wildcat shooter.
And so now famous left hand. Looks like he wants to put this one up. He's going to get it tipped by Sanders. And the Wildcats will take possession of the basketball before immediately being fouled. A very interesting call on that one. Looks like it's going to go against Brandon Johnson, though.
Maverick Sanders able to get a hand on it. His long wingspan as Bradley Swilly's going to check out. We got Garrett Anderson into the game, too. What a defensive play from Maverick Sanders. It feels like every night he's at least having 1 or 2 blocks that are key.
19-13, your current score, ladies and gentlemen. Central Washington leads it by 6 with just under 9.5 minutes remaining in this first half of action. If you are carrying over from our earlier broadcast, do note that in college basketball, women's basketball is played on a quarter system, while the men's games are played on a halves system. Now, Kevin Holden going to pass over to Jordan Clark. It was nice of them to wait for me to be done talking before they started the play. As Clark's going to kick it to the outside. Here's Maverick Sanders on the drive, gets up, and oh, that one's off.
He's close to finishing it, though. Another one of those at the rim, just adjust a little bit. He might have it.
And now Jamari Harris guarding DeWitt here. DeWitt on the drive, takes the mid-range, makes the mid-range. 2 more to the Yellow Jackets.
Seems a little bit stronger in the paint, but Jamari Harris definitely makes up for it with his athleticism.
Now Kevin Holden. He's got Sanders out left, and that's who will hit. Sanders gives it right back. Haven't seen a whole lot from Kevin Holden here tonight, only 2 points. He's going to kick it out to Sanders. Sanders is driving, kicks it to the corner. Now Jamari Harris, he can take that. He can make that! Jamari Harris puts another 3 on the board. Now on the other end, quickly trying to answer back, and it's famous left hand missing at the rack.
Harris with the rebound.
He's driving in. Give him another 2!
Oh, my. Back-to-back offensive drives there for Jamari Harris. He's just too good.
Go ahead and take over, why don't you, Jamari? As now Jalen Tott brings it up for the Yellow Jackets, desperately needing to bring in some sort of momentum. This one kicked out left. And it's going to go inside to Robinson. Robinson definitely looking like he wants Johnson again. Ooh. He'll get him, and a foul will be called on the missed reverse.
Hands looked like they were up there, not too much body contact, but Referee is going to say a little too much hip action into the shooter.
'88 won the Berg, Your Music Central, as well as the CW Athletics live stream. You are hearing the voice of Ryan Gildersleeve alongside Jackson Roberts as we get ready for the final 7 minutes and 55 seconds of the first half of action here from the Nicholson Pavilion. Folks, let me tell you, what a matchup it's been so far. We've seen fireworks from the Wildcat side nearly every drive, specifically the last two, as Jamari Harris goes down, gets his shot, then he comes back, gets the steal, gets a couple more.
Yeah.
Give him 5 points over the last couple drives. I'd love to see that continue.
And it took 12 minutes for the Wildcats to knock down their first three-pointer of the day. We saw them falling like rain the other day against SPU, and that one didn't take, or it took quite a lot of time to get there.
Now Brendan Johnson makes the second. And that's going to cut the lead down to 6 for the Wildcats here.
Johnson, the third leading scorer
Down
Billings.
to 7. You always got to wonder. As now here's Kevin Holden bringing it up and across half court. He's going to have famous left hand in front of him, trying to see if he can get past him. And now Kevin Holden finds his way inside and pulls the foul. That's going to be, I believe, the 6th called against Montana State Billings this half.
Regardless, we'll send Kevin Holden to the line for 2 shots. Your leading scorer for the Cats shoots 81% from the line. And now looks like it's going to be on number 0.
Yeah, that was
it's
interesting.
Going to be on famous left hand.
I will say, that was not the player that was signified
No.
to the bench. He threw up the 2, so one would have to assume that that was supposed to have been against Jalen Tott. But one way or another, Kevin Holden going to hit the free throw, and 25-17 is your score.
Both.
One more foul from Montana State Billings, and your Wildcats are in the bonus. Now, here's going to be, well, it was a pass attempted outright, but it's going to find its way out of bounds. Possession will not change.
I think Wildcats need to attack left hand and Tott in the paint somehow, draw their fouls up. Those are 2 great perimeter defenders.
Yeah.
Try to get them out of the game as much as possible. Force the coach to take them out of the game.
And now here's Jamari Harris getting another steal. He's going to kick it back, and it's going to move over to Sanders now.
Oh.
They're trying to do too much.
A little too much.
Yeah, they're trying to do too much on that one. But, hey, a little bit of straightening out, and they'll be good.
I love some Globetrotters basketball. Unfortunately, we're watching the Wildcats here.
Yeah, as now it's going to be DeWitt with it. He attempts to shoot it inside, but a foul is going to be called. This one you'd have to assume will go against Swilly. And no, it appears that it'll go against Jordan Clark. So he picks up his 2nd foul of the night as the Wildcats commit their 5th foul of the half.
Eli Williams checking into the game for Jordan Clark following that foul.
And your inbounder will be Jalen Tott for the Yellow Jackets. He gets ready here and goes up and over. He's going to hit Robinson. Robinson now to left hand. Famous left hand. Wants it for Jalen Tott. He gets it to him. Tott now over to DeWitt. DeWitt inside for Jalen Tott. Can he get the opportunity against Kevin Holden? A notoriously good defender. He can't. And he's going to end up hitting the mid-range Paul George right there, Jackson.
Yeah, he found the side of the backboard.
As Bradley Swilly's going to hit this one over to Eli Williams. Williams to Sanders. 3-point is off, and the rebound goes once again to Jalen Tott.
That's the one part of the game Sanders has got to work on a little bit more. Make that 3-point shot fall more.
And so Tott stopped. He's got Maverick Sanders on him as he passes out right to DeWitt, and DeWitt's going to return it quickly. Tott searching for his next recipient. He's going to move out right towards the top of the key. Now take the step forward mid-range, and that one is off. Now the rebound to famous left hand, and Robinson nails the 3.
Robinson, 38% from the line on the season, and he's a big man, too. He lets him fall.
Excuse me, Brendan Johnson hits the 3 there.
45% three-point shooter. Even better of a look.
as Eli Williams inside for Swilly. Swilly going to lose it, and it's going to be picked up by Sanders, who drives, hits it over to Holden, takes the three, misses. Rebound now, going to go to famous left hand. 5 minutes and 45 seconds, 47 seconds.
We're going to call that a foul?
Remain. And yeah, a little bit of contact on that one. Whistles will blow, and the Cats now have 6 against their name.
Yeah, I thought Kevin may have gotten a hand on the ball there, as we got Kamalu Vargas checking into the game.
Yeah, we do. Xavier Kamalu Vargas, as he's going to step into this one. We're interested to see what his how they're going to play him. They're going to have him match up against famous left hand, which is intriguing. They've typically used Kamalu Vargas more in defensive sets this season than they have in offensive sets, so I'm intrigued. Jalen Tott going to shoot it out right for Robinson. Robinson to DeWitt. DeWitt for three, and that one is off. Rebound, Eli Williams, who does a great job of bringing it in on the other side. He's going to, wow.
Whoa.
And Swilly almost hit a shot trying to pass it to Brizzy there. As now Robinson going to hit Jalen Tott, who will miss what would have been one of the better star-studded layups I've seen in a while. Now Eli Williams to Kamalu Vargas, give him 2!
Attaboy, Kamalu Vargas, way to finish that one. There was defenders all around him too.
Yeah, he entered the matchup ready to score. So that's going to answer our question, at least slightly, Jackson. As a foul's going to be called, that's some weak contact to call a foul on there on the perimeter, but one way or another, it was called. Our jurisdiction is not in our hands, Jackson.
Well, yeah, Kamalu Vargas averages 6 minutes per game. Has only appeared in 10 games, 1 point per game. But I don't mind seeing him on the floor more. I mean, he has good defensive presence, as well as he's showing the ability to finish inside. We'll see if that three-point shot can ever fall if he gets the opportunity. But even if he doesn't play this year, we have guys who likely aren't going to be on the team next year. He's going to be a vital player on the team for the 25-26 Wildcats.
So now Robinson's going to miss the free throw. Hey, what does the PAV do to guys, Jackson?
I think it's statistically proven the free throw percentage is down.
As Kevin Holden going to make his way forward.
Oh,
and
wow, I don't know about that.
If the defense intentionally causes a backcourt violation, then it is, in fact, not a backcourt violation.
It was a lot of body there, too, and you can tell how pressed Kevin Holden is about it, and Coach Rinta's letting the referees hear it, too.
Yeah, well, I think that, I think that I love the equal balance of power in basketball between referees and coaches. That's all I've got to say about that. As Robinson going to take the three. He's going to make the three. So the questionable call is going to lead to an open three-point opportunity for the Yellow Jackets, and it will end up in 3 points. They cut the lead down to 4 for the Wildcats.
This is a mismatch right here.
That it is Brizzy going to move it to Kamalu Vargas, who then hits Maverick Sanders. Sanders using that shoulder to work his way in against DeWitt. Now hits the open man and Kamalu Vargas, who's going to lose it on the first shred of contact. Now on the drive and the easy score is Johnson, and the Wildcats are falling apart here.
The referees are letting the guys play, too. Lots of contact everywhere, but no fouls called.
Kevin Holden on the right side. Coach Rinta going to call a timeout there, and I can't say that I would have done anything different in that situation. They'll take a break. We'll take one, too. Be back with you in just a moment here on 88.1 The Berg, your music central, as well as the CW Athletics live stream. .1 The Berg, your music central, as well as the CW Athletics live stream. Folks, Ryan Gildersleeve here alongside Cash Brown. Or excuse me, I might have just caught a quick message, but one way or another, I'm sitting here next to Jackson Roberts as we get ready for the continuation of the first half of action 4 minutes and 14 seconds do remain in this one. And Jackson, what a game it has been.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what the rest of this game holds. 4 minutes to go here in the first half of play. The Wildcats have kind of let Billings get back into this game. 5-point run in the hands of the Yellow Jackets. We'll see if the Wildcats can maybe stop that run here. It was 27-0, now 27-25.
So this one going to be inbounded to Williams, who will quickly hit Kevin Holden. Holden's going to send it inside for Maverick Sanders, who's being triple teamed as he hits Kamalu Vargas, who will put up and make the shot.
Oh, yeah.
With the left hand, too. You want to talk about a famous left hand?
I was about to say, Ryan, that's the most famous left hand in this building.
Yeah, it might just be. As now this one's going to be handed off to Johnson. Johnson over to Robinson. Robinson to Tot. Jalen Tot on the right side. He's going to send it a little bit deeper into the right side corner. Robinson now on the drive. He's going to kick it over, and it's going to get right back to him. On the perimeter now, he looks like he wants the three, but he's not going to take it. Robinson now fools Brizzi, but he's unable to make the first shot. Now the second one, he just barely gets his composure back and makes the shot. So a good job there of fighting through the contact and making your second shot opportunity work for you.
Yeah, well, Robinson hit a three just a moment ago. It forces Brizzi to step up, get a little bit closer to him, do not give him that space. But unfortunately, that's what happens. He drives in the paint and misses the shot, but ends up getting it back in his hands and putting it up with the and one.
So now this one inbounded to Eli Williams, the Wildcat point guard here. He's going to drive in from the left side. Stop. Send it over to Brizzi. Brizzi's going to get the two to go.
The future is bright for Eli Williams here on this team. A great facilitator, great defender, rebounder, as we saw earlier, too. Offensive end needs to improve a little bit, but he has a bright future here for the Wildcats.
Now Jalen Tot going to swing this one back out for Robinson. Robinson on the outside. Moving out left with it. He's going to stop, spin around, take a drive against Brizzi, kick it out, and it's Jalen Tot. Step back, now into the corner. Driving, Tot, three ball, get it to him. Wow, Jalen Tot.
The catch and shoot ability from Tot is really mesmerizing. He gets the ball in his hands, it goes up quick, and it falls most of the time.
Yeah, that's his 8th points of the night here as Eli Williams going to move it over to Brizzi. Brizzi will fall, and the whistles will blow.
I don't hate trying to feed Brizzi inside. This season, he's gone 48 for 74 from the field for a 65% field goal percentage. There's a high efficiency look every single time he has the ball in his hands in the paint.
And so we will see free throws here, and they're going to come from Mitch Brizzi.
Hey, we'll see about what he can do for us here at the line. As for on the season, he is a 71% free throw shooter. That's something we noted the other day. When you have a big man who can get to the line often and knock them down, that is going to be game-changing for your team. We see guys throughout the GNAC who are big men, and they can't quite knock down those free throw shooters. And that's exactly what Brizzi does here with the first one, giving the Wildcat 1-point lead.
So now we'll await the second shot. Both of these two teams in the bonus as it currently stands. So any further defensive fouls will send either squad to the line. Brizzi, second shot. Give it to him.
Brizzi, the only senior on this roster, too. He's got to imagine he's one of the most vocal guys in the locker room. And I actually talked to, I believe it was Bradley Swilly early in the season. He said it's Brizzi and Kevin Holden, the most vocal people in the locker room.
So now it's going to be Johnson with the ball in hand. He moves it out to famous left hand, who drives forward, puts it up, and misses. Rebound goes to Kevin Holden now. Holden on the drive. Moves it over to Sanders, who will be fouled on his way up.
Yeah, that's a good call there. A whole bunch of contact. DeWitt got there a little bit early. Sent Maverick Sanders in a bit of an unorthodox position. But he's going to draw the blocking foul. 2 shots coming up for Mav. Mav on the season, 73% from the line as well. And you talked about earlier how he is locked down that starting position with the team. But even as a freshman, he was starting plenty of games, and that's what's so nice about last year's team. So many freshmen that were on the roster, now sophomores, and these guys are the key players for this Wildcat team for us winning games as he misses the first.
So now Sanders 0 for 1 from the charity stripe. Checking into the matchup is going to be Fairs Kasem. So another man to watch here for the other end. Maverick Sanders, second shot, give it to him. So 1 for 2 from the line in this trip. That's going to give the Cats a 3-point lead now with 2 minutes and 18 seconds remaining in the first half. Now stopping and moving it over to Johnson. Stops, shoots it to the outside. Tot now to the corner. Famous left hand. Goes inside now for Kasem. Kasem against Brizzi. He's going to hit Jalen Tot on the drive, and this layup is off. Rebound now to the Cats, and here's Kamalu Vargas driving and losing it. Maverick Sanders going to pick it up, though. An unintentional pass as this one's going to hit Williams. And now to the corner, and a great job by Xavier Kamalu Vargas to toss it off the leg of the Montana State Billings defender there, keeping possession in the Cats' favor.
That's one of the things that don't show up on the stat sheet is basketball IQ, and that's exactly what Kamalu Vargas has, as we have the sophomore Kobe Parlin checking into the game for the first time tonight.
Very nice to see Kamalu Vargas in this one. I'd be hopeful that we see him in the rotation a little bit more because that was a great performance for him. Bridgey going to send it over to Kobe Parlin. Parlin, who had some real highlights early in the season. Here's Kevin Holden driving forward, steps back, takes the three on famous left hand, and that's going to be 3 more for the Cats.
You talk about a highlight. Kevin Holden's the man just for that.
What a play. When it comes to step-back threes, let me tell you, James Harden's getting a little too old for my mind to associate him with it. It might be Kevin Holden's shot now. As on the drive, getting fouled and getting 2 is going to be Cooper DeWitt.
Yeah, Maverick Sanders had his hands up, but they were a little bit too far forward there.
Yeah.
Eventually hit the shoulder of DeWitt, and DeWitt's going to draw the and 1.
So now we'll see a couple shots from him. Of course, both these two teams already deep as it can get into the bonus. 37-33, your current score with the Cats leading it, as it's going to be Jamari Harris checking in for Maverick Sanders. Now we will await those shots, and following that, 1 minute and 20 seconds will separate the falling of the second shot from the end of the first half.
I love to hear how loud this pavilion is getting.
And the second shot will fall. So 3 points separate these two squads, as it's going to be Eli Williams bringing it up for the Cats. Stops, uses the screen, and heads drives in and gets 2.
Okay, high floater off the glass, brings it home as Kasem falls down. I think I just felt the ground shake.
Yeah, you can feel the rumble just a little bit. Jalen Tott with the ball in hand. He's going to work against Holden here. Now heading out right, driving against Harris and missing it, but drawing the foul. I thought he was going to make that for a second.
That was very close.
That was something.
He almost matched the shot on the other end of the high off the glass, but that one almost outdid it. But instead, it's going to be 2 shots at the line for Mr. Tott, the third leading scorer in all of GNAC.
He's got 8 points right here tonight. A chance to push that up to double digits, of course, as he's going to miss the first one. The pavilion pressure just gets to be too much sometimes.
He struggles on that end of the court. That free throw line right there has had, I'm sure he's got PTSD right there from last season.
And the second shot is going to be up and off. So both of them missed. If that was in the last 5 minutes of the second half, I'd be eating a burger after this game.
Stay tuned, folks.
As Williams now on the other end for the Cats. He's going to hit Kevin Holden, and that one is off. Rebound will not fall for anybody, and it's going to end up being Wildcat basketball.
Kobe Parlin got up there with the big 7-footer, and he's able to not out-rebound him, but push it off of his hand, keeps it in Wildcat possession.
So now Eli Williams, the inbounder, he's going to go up and over to Jamari Harris, who will now kick it to the right side. Here's Kobe Parlin. Parlin dribbling here.
Coach Rentes telling him to drain the clock.
Yeah, I mean, hey, you've got 12 seconds to work with, 30 seconds on the clock now, as he's going to move it over to Williams. Eli Williams.
Gotta go now.
Yeah, you got 3 seconds. Now steps back, got to put it up. And there's a lot of contact on that one, but they're not going to call a foul. Instead, the end of the shot clock will spell a lost possession for the Wildcats. No more shot clock. We are within 20 seconds, and 18.2 will separate this next play from the beginning of the second half.
Yeah, I don't know if Williams was looking at the wrong part of the shot clock there. He only had 7 seconds left, and he looked like he was unaware that he had to take the shot.
And so now it's Jalen Tott. Tott going to receive the inbound and work for the Yellow Jackets here as they look to cut this lead down as much as they can before the half.
You cannot foul here.
Jalen Tott working against Jamari Harris. Takes the 3. Misses it. And it's going to be Kevin Holden with a half-court chuck that almost goes. Hey, one way or another, folks, a great first half of action from the Nicholson Pavilion. 39-34 your score. The Wildcats lead it by 5. We'll be back in just a little bit for your halftime report here on 88.1 The Berg, your Music Central, as well as the CW Athletics live stream. 88 won the Berg, your music central. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Ryan Gildersleeve here on Play-by-Play, as well as Jackson Roberts on color commentary here, folks. Thank you for being a part of our listening community here tonight as the Wildcats take on the Montana State Billings Yellow Jackets. Let me tell you, folks, what a night of basketball it has been here from the Nicholson Pavilion. Not only our men's team putting on a show against the Yellow Jackets, but we saw our women's team put on a near legendary performance not too long ago. Of course, in that matchup, they knocked off the number 6 ranked team in all of Division II basketball in the nation, Jackson. A great matchup, but tonight we have 2 matchups, and the second one is in the middle of its progress. Now, Jackson, 39-34 the score as your Wildcats have really come out and turned this into their own matchup. It's kind of a showcase of their own offensive abilities, I would say. We've seen players that we don't typically see get playing time come in, make an impact, and then check out of the game quickly after. Namely, Xavier Kamalu Vargas has come in, done a great job. We saw Jamari Harris come in. He got 2 steals before he got out within the first, I would like to say, 3-4 minutes that he was playing. Got the 2 steals, put up 5 points. That man has a great per-minute average, let me tell you now. Hey, but a great matchup on all different ends of the court for your Wildcats, whether it be shooting the deep ball, whether it be playing on the inside, or whether it be just playing hard-nosed defense. They've been great. Now, one of those things that I mentioned has been a little bit further behind than the other ones. Jackson, tell me what you've seen from the Wildcat 3-ball tonight.
Well, the Wildcat 3-ball has not been falling too much, but also we're not taking a crazy amount of threes compared to the previous nights that we've seen the Wildcats play. Well, Kevin Holden's 0 for 3, Mitch Brizzy's 0 for 1, but that seemed like it was a 4-shot. Shot clock was kind of ending, and then Bradley Swilly 0 for 1. So only 1 3-pointer has fallen, and that is coming off of the hands of Jamari Harris, corner 3, as he dropped that one. But I want to see Mitch Brizzy in the paint. Like, unless there is Ferris Kasem on him, he is 2 for 3, and he is, 65% from the field on the season. Feed Mitch Brizzy in the paint. Let him do that hook shot we saw him do so well the other night. And I think that could be a key factor for getting the Wildcats a double-digit lead if we can get there. As of right now, the lead stands at 5. So we'll see if we can maybe kind of start to extend that. We saw the other day against SPU, it was kind of back and forth the whole entire first half. The second half is when we saw the Wildcats start to pull away. We'll see if that becomes or continues to be a trend as the second half Cats are going to come out here in 5 minutes.
Yeah, hey, and let me tell you, I mean, it's just one of those situations where, depending on what team you play, obviously you're going to play them a little bit different. Tonight, the Wildcats have really just eliminated the 3-ball. We're not seeing them get attempted. If they are being attempted, it's on situations where you really can't make a case for the opposition. Like, if you're sitting there, and obviously the next man closest to you, 6 feet away, you're going to take that shot. Of course, we saw Mitch Brizzy take one on the first shot attempt for the Wildcats on the game. Then we've seen a few more other ones get hucked up, from around the perimeter. But one way or another, I do think that once those start to land a little bit more, if the consistency stays the same with how they're putting them up, the attempts are going to start turning into makes, and the Wildcats are going to start taking that driver's seat by the hand.
Yeah, and let Maverick Sanders keep driving to the paint, and even just doing those post fades. Those are high-efficiency shots for this offense, and I'm happy with running the offense through Maverick. He seems very comfortable tonight. He's taking lots of shots, showing how comfortable he is, and he's also letting them fall. 11 points, leading your Wildcats and leading every player on this floor tonight. Maverick Sanders might be the man to watch here in this second half.
You know, he really could be, and he's just one of those guys that, depending on the game, you don't know what you're going to see from him, but he's got so many tools at his disposal that it's hard to imagine you just see him fall off. You know what I mean? Maverick Sanders is one of those guys that he's going to shoot it, he's going to drive, he can throw down on you if you give him an open lane. I'd like to see a little bit more aggressiveness from him in this second half, not only when it comes to just driving forward, but I want to see him see him make quick shots on the reception. Yeah. When he's getting passes, a lot of the time he's immediately looking to the next guy, and he's already in prime position to throw up a shot. Yeah. So I'd like to see those attempts start to maybe get themselves in line a little bit more, and above that, I just want to see the Wildcats fill up the interior.
I've got one more name for us to possibly watch out. He's been a complete non-factor in the first half, and he was so hot the other night. number 0, Jordan Clark, has yet to score tonight.
Yeah.
And he's 0 for 1, so we just took one shot, and he's out of the game. And I'm kind of concerned of what's happening with Garrett Anderson. If he's going to come back on the floor, only 7 minutes played tonight, he went 2 for 2. He started out the game. He was the first 4 out of 6 points of the game were coming off the hands of the transfer from San Jose State, big number 11 right there on the Wildcat logo. So I want to see him get the ball in his hands a little bit more. He seems comfortable, and like you said earlier on, we've been waiting to see Garrett Anderson start to break out. Early in this game, we thought that might have been the case. It seems that might not have been what we were thinking, and I mean, there's still a whole 20 minutes left to play of basketball, Ryan. We could see many of these guys pop off randomly for a couple shots. We saw Jamari Harris go end-to-end a couple times. And so, I mean, we've got scorers on this team. We've got athleticism. We've got defense. We've got what it takes to win. It's just a matter of executing.
It really is. And Jackson, I couldn't agree more with you. Well, folks, that's going to do it for our halftime show, if you will. We're going to be back in just about 2.5 minutes as we get ready for the beginning of the second half of action here from the Nicholson Pavilion. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a moment on 88.1 The Berg. .1 The Berg, your music central, as well as the CW Athletics live stream. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to this incredible night of action, which we are just about 3/4 of the way through with. Folks, you are hearing the voice of Ryan Gildersleeve, your play-by-play commentator for tonight's action, as well as my color commentator, Jackson Roberts, as we get ready for what should be a very exciting final 20 minutes of this matchup between your Wildcats and the Montana State Billings Yellow Jackets. We are just about a moment away.
Well, I'll talk about this real quick before the ball's checked in. This team, the Yellow Jackets, match up very well with the Wildcats. We talked about statistically Wildcats are outbeating them in every single category, but they match up well with us.
So famous left hand, going to go up and over to Robinson to start things off. And that one's going to find its way out of bounds. Whistles will blow.
Kevin Holden with the vertical to get up on that one.
Yeah.
Knocks Maverick Sanders down to the floor.
Yeah, I mean, he got up there and he was contending against Cale Robinson, the 6'7" senior out of Hamilton, New Zealand.
Man, worldwide.
So Jordan Clark, the guy that we kind of highlighted at halftime that we're wanting to see have a better offensive half, he's going to move it to Maverick Sanders. Sanders now over to Garrett Anderson. Anderson looking for the next recipient, and he's going to find Mitch Brizzy. Brizzy back to Anderson. Anderson working now closely against Brendan Johnson. Steps back, takes it, misses. And the rebound is going to go to Robinson.
There goes his 100% field goal percentage.
Yeah. So now Cale Robinson going to drive inside now against Sanders. Stopping, spinning, and hitting the outside look. That's going to be DeWitt. Takes it, misses. Rebound goes to Kevin Holden.
Oh, come
and
on.
Jalen Tott going to immediately make himself seen on the defensive end as he makes the pass that will result in another missed three. So now here comes Garrett Anderson on the fast break. He's going to stop and move it to Sanders. Sanders now using the screen from Brizzy. Coming around on the left side. He's going to lose it, but a whistle will blow, and famous left hand is going to have some words for the referee on that call.
Yeah, it seemed like Maverick may have just lost it a little bit, and it's weird to see that be called a foul, too. It's been a very high-intensity defensive game.
It really has.
There hasn't been too many fouls called on those ends.
And, you know, it's almost concerning when the referees
Yeah.
change their ways so quickly like that. As Sanders going to move it to Clark, and Jordan Clark's going to dribble up to that big old Wildcat logo. Now stop in with the screen from Brizzy. Pop that.
Yeah,
He's going to stop and move it to Garrett Anderson. Anderson heading out right with it. Using the screen from Brizzy. Almost a travel, but instead he gets two.
Finds himself hitting the deck almost, but gets right back up
Yeah.
and drains the midi.
So now Jalen Tott coming up from that left side. He's going to move this one over to DeWitt, and DeWitt back to him. Jalen Tott takes the deep ball, and that one's off. Great job by Jordan Clark there, giving Mitch Brizzy the rebound. And now it's Clark stopping on the outside. He's going to move it to Brizzy. Brizzy now hands it back to him. Clark driving, stopping, hitting Brizzy, and that's another 2 points for the Cats.
If you can't score, Jordan, look for that open man, and that's what he does in the paint. Mitch Brizzy's so successful down there. Big number 44 laying it up.
So Top moving it over to Cooper DeWitt. DeWitt now going to hand it off to Brendan Johnson. Johnson coming around the corner, stopping, spinning, hitting his outside man, and DeWitt now on the drive against Sanders. He gets blocked. Maverick Sanders not letting that happen in his house. Now he's going to go up, and he's going to make him pay for it.
Turning defense into offense, Maverick Sanders.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think I just found my call of the night. What a play by Maverick Sanders. They're going to take a timeout. We'll take one, too. Be back in 30 seconds on 88-1 The Berg. .88 The Berg, your music central. Cutting in off of that advertisement for just a moment. Not even an advertisement. They don't give us any money. But one way or another, it's going to be DeWitt with the ball in hand. He's on the perimeter as he shoots it over to famous left hand. Left hand now on the inside to Tott. That one goes out of bounds, and that looked like Wildcat basketball.
Oh, I thought it went off the hip of Tott. Wildcat defense is putting the pressure on the Yellow Jackets right now. They have not scored this half. 2 minutes and 39 seconds into this half.
Yeah, that was an interesting one. I almost thought that the hand of Kevin Holden knocked that one off the hip and then out of bounds, but they've got a better viewpoint than we do, as this one's going to be inbounded to Robinson.
Oh.
And now an off-ball foul is going to be obvious, but Jordan Clark gets up quickly as the Wildcat defense returns to normal. Now DeWitt going to use the shoulder to get a little bit of separation on Sanders, but he's still unable to convert.
Maverick Sanders is stuffing the stat sheet tonight.
So now Big Mav coming in on that right side. He gets it plucked from him by DeWitt. Here comes Cooper DeWitt on the drive. He's good.
Man.
He has to implement the layup against Maverick Sanders there by will say I'd be a little bit scared about bringing the hammer down around him.
That was very close to Maverick Sanders' 4th block of the game. He's been all over the place on the defensive end.
Oh, yeah. As now it's going to be Sanders hitting this one to Anderson. Anderson now to Brizzy, and Brizzy to Clark. Jordan Clark now hits Kevin Holden on the outside. He's going to drive forward, go up and over to Brizzy, and they're going to get the foul. That one will go against Jalen Tott, who picks up his 3rd foul of the game, and their best players 2 away from fouling out with 16:32 remaining in the second half of action.
Well, what did I tell you earlier, Ryan? Attack Tott. Make sure he gets those foul numbers up. And that's exactly what's happening. He's going to be checking out of this game at some point soon, I would assume. But you don't want your best player fouling out so early. You got to kind of manage his minutes after that point.
So Ferris Kasem going to check into the game for the Yellow Jackets as Kevin Holden receives the inbound. Now he's going to drive against the other top brother. Put up a shot, but that one is just off. A little bit too little on it. As now it's Robinson coming up on that left side. He's going to drive forward, stop. Now rears his way back. Now driving up against Sanders, using that shoulder again. He's going to hit Juwan Tott on the drive. Steps back, hits his man on the outside. Here's Johnson. Johnson against Clark. Pushing his way to the outside. He's going to hit Robinson. Robinson now against Sanders. He loses it, but he's going to move it over to the big man who throws it down.
He barely even had to jump. Just put your arms up and hang down from the rim.
Yeah, Ferris case. I'm looking like Wembenyama on that dunk. Now this one moved over to Mitch Brizzy. Brizzy's going to hand it off to Mav Sanders. Sanders now coming around that right side. He stops. Looks like he wants it inside for Brizzy. He's going to get to him, but it's going to make its way back out as Anderson takes over. He takes the midi, and he misses it. Rebound to Jalen Tott. Tott now to his brother Juwan on the drive. He's going to get that to go against all kinds of contact.
Strong finish, just hung up in the air for a little bit. Force these Billings shooters to keep shooting the ball. They only have 2 guys shooting over 50% right now.
And right now, Montana State Billings on a 6-0 run against the Wildcats. So we'll see if the Cats are able to get a little offense going. It's a game of runs, Jackson, as Kevin Holden's going to send this one out to Jordan Clark. Clark now to Anderson. Anderson to the corner with Sanders. Driving with 5 seconds to go, and that one's off. No whistle will be blown, and the Wildcats are going to get the offensive rebound. So no harm, no foul here as Garrett Anderson has got 13 seconds to work with. Matched up with Johnson. He's got Holden out left. Instead, he's going to drive forward, step back, use a dribble move to make his way to the inside before hitting Sanders for 3.
Leaving his footprint on this game. 16 points now for Maverick Sanders. And he's trying to get up in the stats in every statistical category, and he's doing a good job of it. 16 points, 3 blocks, and he's shooting efficiently, Ryan.
Yeah, I mean, just adding everywhere he goes. What a job by Maverick Sanders. 25 points on the night, 16 points on the night. Had it mixed up with his number, but I wouldn't be surprised if he got there before too long. One way or another, we'll be back in just a moment on 88.1 The Berg and your CW Athletics live stream. .1 The Berg, your music central, as well as the CW Athletics live stream. Folks, you are hearing the voice of Ryan Gildersleeve alongside Jackson Roberts as we get ready for the final 14:42 of this matchup between your Wildcats and the Montana State Billings Yellow Jackets. A very interesting game we've seen so far, and an interesting inbound plan here, as it's going to be Robinson who shoots this one forward before the Wildcat full court press will dissipate. Jalen Tott bringing it up for the Yellow Jackets. He's going to shoot it over, and it's going to be to his brother Juwan. Juwan Tott now inside for Robinson. Robinson working against Sanders. This has been an interesting matchup all night. Using the shoulder, puts up the shot, makes it.
That's a good shot as he looks at his hand.
Yeah, I mean, hey. If
Also got to look at the scoreboard a little bit too, though.
Yeah, I was going to say. 12 points for him so far on the night. He and Sanders are ruling it as Kevin Holden's going to add a few.
Yeah, and Jalen Todd already going back to the defensive end of the floor.
That's just what you need to see. The Cats push their lead out to 9. Here's Robinson working against Sanders. Steps out to the perimeter. Now making his way back inside. He hands it off to Jalen Todd. Todd on the outside. He's got Kevin Holden right in front of him. Now moving his way out right. This one, shot to Clark, and they're going to call a blocking foul on him there. Jawan doing a great job there of drawing that foul.
Something I've noticed, we have had 11 players touch the floor for the Wildcats compared to the 7 of Montana State Billings.
And that might just be part of it. I mean, if you're Coach Rinta, do you think that just throwing guy after guy after guy at them is going to keep them off base enough to just take the driver's seat?
It's a new matchup. It's a new man to study to see how they're going to defend you and what they'll do on the offensive end of the floor, giving the Wildcats much more options to score in a variety of ways.
So now Jawan Tott will be the primary ball handler here, taking over for his brother. He sends it out to DeWitt, who will knock it down.
Man, DeWitt's a pretty good shooter as well. Shooting, well, I guess not as good as I thought. 25%, but he's knocked down a couple tonight, so is seeming to find his stroke so far.
Hey, if he can do that with a bat, the Mariners will sign him.
Hey, we'll take it.
As here's Kevin Holden on the drive, working against Robinson. He's going to stop, and he's going to send it out to the outside. Bradley Swilly, the recipient, as he hits Sisk. Sisk now back to him. Now driving is Swilly, puts it up, and that one's off, but the 7-footer gets it and gets a second point opportunity.
Without Kasem on the floor right now, there is a huge defensive liability for Billings with Calvin Sisk just towering over everyone else.
So now Jawan Tott going to hit his man into it again. He's going to drive, steps back, and misses. Rebound now to Kevin Holden. And Holden will bring it up with the Wildcats leading by 8. A chance to push it out to double digits. Now to Sisk. Sisk hands it back to him. Holden going to hesitate for a moment. Now make his way out right. Pass goes that way too. Williams now inside to Sisk. Sisk uses the body, trying to get an opportunity, and he loses it. It's been rough for him on this season trying to post up. I mean, the open shot is always there, but never when he's got to throw the shoulder at a guy. As now on the other end, Jawan Tott adds a couple points to his total.
Great find from Robinson there to Tott.
Yeah. As now Kevin Holden, give it to him again. That one's off.
Stepped into it, just couldn't quite finish.
That was something. As now this one's tossed up for Cooper DeWitt. DeWitt on the inside to Robinson, working against Holden. That's a mismatch, and he's going to take advantage of it. The Cats need to fix something here. They're now seeing their lead cut down to 4.
That's still sitting at a very close game. Cannot get comfortable one bit.
So now Eli Williams going to see if he's got a little bit of something in the tank as he hits Calvin Sisk. Sisk now hands it off to Sanders. Sanders going behind the back with it as he goes to Williams. Williams got to make a pass here. He's got 7 seconds to work with. On the drive, he's going to actually go with it the whole way, but that one's off. Rebound to Saw. He almost had it, but lost it in the fingertips.
Oh, my.
Maverick Sanders.
He just humiliated that man. Oh, my. They have to call a timeout after that.
Motion denied. We'll be back in 30. '88 won the Berg, your Music Central, as well as the CW Athletics live stream. Folks, you're hearing the voices of Ryan Gildersleeve and Jackson Roberts here as we get ready for the final 11 minutes and 21 seconds of the second half of action between these two squads. And let me tell you, Jackson, not the way I thought this one was going to go.
No, I mean, we're going to have to change it from Music Central to 88.1 Maverick Central.
Yeah,
I mean, he is all over the place. 16 points. He's playing high-effort defense on the defensive end. Multiple blocks, a steal. He's rebounding, and he's got an assist or two as well.
Yeah.
He's just really doing everything for this team. And he's making a case for Wildcat of the night if it's possible.
Yeah, I mean, well, let me tell you, he's just come out, and every time that they've needed him to do something impactful on the defensive end, he's been there for it.
Yeah.
That's just what you get with Maverick Sanders. He's a 4 with elite blocking ability for his position.
His switch defense is so good, too. He can guard 1 through 5 on the floor. It doesn't matter who has the ball in his hands.
Exactly. That's just the way it goes. We'll hope to see a little bit more of it later into this matchup, as for right now, Jawan Tott is the inbounder for the Yellow Jackets. He's going to send this one into Johnson and get it right back. Jawan Tott matched up with Eli Williams. He's got the screen now coming. He's going to use it. Not going to hit the 7-footer. Instead, it's famous left hand on the drive. Uses the right, and he gets it.
It's too easy. I got to see one finish with the left hand, though, famous.
You know, that's what I'm saying. I feel like he's got that.
Just for the namesake.
He's got it in the bag. You know it. And that's going to be a foul against Jawan Tott. So it almost seems to me like the way they use the Tott brothers is so interchangeable that once one of them starts to get too many fouls, hey, you go in.
Yep.
Hey, Jalen needs some help here. And that's the situation that we're watching right now. I mean, Jawan's taken over Jalen's starting job over the last, I'd say, about 7 minutes of basketball that we've watched from the start of the half. And really, that's what you see. I mean, you get defensive reliability with them. You get a whole lot of playmaking. So can't knock it until you try it.
And chemistry.
Let's get a pair of brothers on the team.
Yeah.
You can't knock it till you try it. As here's Eli Williams. He's going to move it over to Brizzy. Brizzy back to him. Now Williams going to head outright with it. Go up and over for Brizzy, who saves it, but it's going to go right into the hands of famous left hand. Now swinging this one over, and it's going to find its way back to Jawan Tott. Jawan Tott outright for Johnson. Johnson stopping, swinging, shooting, off. Rebound goes to Bradley Swilly off the top down by Brizzy, who's going to now receive the basketball and move it over to Swilly. Now Swilly on the drive, using that right side. He's going to stop for a moment, spin, shoot. That one's off, but it's going to go to Jamari Harris, who heads out left with it. He's going to send this one into the corner with Williams, who goes back up for Brizzy. Brizzy now to Clark. We've been waiting to see some fireworks from him all night. Here they come. Give it to him. 2 points for Jordan Clark.
Okay, over Kasem, the long outstretched arms of Kasem at that.
And
Jordan Clark's got that mid-range shot down.
Right. And pretty much right when that one fell, we made our way into what would be the fourth quarter of action. As now Jawan Tott going to send this one out right for famous left hand, who will miss. Wow. No foul is called as the physicality has continued to be allowed. Bradley Swilly going to make a pass reception on the other end, and his feet kind of come out from under him.
Stays in the Wildcats' hands,
though.
Wow.
He did a great job of making sure that ricocheted off the back end of a Yellow Jacket before it made its way out of bounds. You just got to love that basketball IQ from your Wildcats. We talked about it a little bit earlier. It's just one of those intangibles.
It's the IQ, it's the hustle, it's just everything that this team has that has the makings for a really special season, Ryan.
As now Jordan Clark with the ball in hand, he's going to approach. As now heading out right with it. He's going to stop and shoot it to Jamari Harris. Harris now, who has taken over this matchup for the most part, not going to take advantage of the space that he gained on that move. Now Kevin Holden using the screen from Brizzy beautifully, gives it back to him, and the pick and roll works off for a pair.
There's a reason why he leads the team in assists. He's got eyes in the back of his head. He'll find anyone.
Now Jawan Tott matched up with Clark. He's going to swing it out left, and it's going to find its way to Robinson. Robinson now handing off to Jalen Tott. Takes the move in 3, and that is his specialty shot, as we've seen so far in this matchup. Robinson now with an open lane. He's going to miss it, but a foul will be called. This one against Jamari Harris. 2 shots coming.
Let Jalen Tott shoot those shots. As he may be one of the leading scorers in the league, he's shooting 3 for 14 so far on the night. He is not shooting consistently. And make him earn those shots, too. Don't just give them to him, but make sure to keep a hand in his face. I don't think he's hitting any of those.
As now this one's going to be put up and missed by Robinson. Hit just about everywhere on the rim but the net.
Thank you, band.
And now the second one, as like you noted, Jackson, the Siwoo band is out in full force, getting ready to hypnotize the opponent into missing it. This one won't work out well, though. 1 for 1 in this trip to the line.
Percentage of 82% shooting in that direction drops to about, I'd say, 65%.
Yeah. as now Jordan Clark to Brizzy. They're trying to get their way past half court, and they will. It's going to go to Garrett Anderson. Anderson now over to Brizzy as the big man looks to find his next man. Uses the revolving door screen on Juwan Tott, and Clark's going to get it over to Brizzy for another pick and roll beauty.
Feed the beast in the paint. 65% field goal percentage. It's likely falling down almost every time for Brizzy.
Draw it up and knock it down. You got to give props to Coach Renta. As now Juwan Tott going to hit his man Robinson for a wide open missed three. And now here's Anderson on the drive. At the top of the key now. Still within that big old Wildcat logo. He moves it out right for Clark. Clark now working against DeWitt. He's going to go back to that same spot Anderson was in just a moment ago. 8 minutes remain in this matchup as Garrett Anderson going to receive the pass. Now making his way forward, and a whistle will blow.
It's on the floor, though.
So just like that, this one appears to have been called against number 10 for the Wildcats. That would, of course...
No, it's number 10 for
Montana State?
Yep.
Okay, well, that's what you like to see, honestly. Yeah, on the other end there, that's Cooper DeWitt committing the foul. And now we'll have a media timeout, so we'll take one, too, as I guess they call us the media nowadays,
yeah.
Jackson. One way or another. We'll see y'all in just a little bit. '88 won the Berg, Your Music Central, as well as the CW Athletics live stream. Folks, Ryan Gildersleeve here alongside Jackson Roberts as we get ready for what should be an exciting Final 8 from the Nicholson Pavilion. Of course, the Pavilion's been host to so many great games, but today has seen two of them as we just saw our women's team absolutely dismantle the Yellow Jackets in the first one, end up winning the matchup by a pretty fair margin. Now, in this one, the men's squad is getting closer and closer to the final bell, and when it comes, they're going to hope to have a better total, as you do playing basketball. One way or another, they've got a 7-point advantage on that end as it currently stands. So here comes the big man, Kevin Holden, to send his man flying and get the two. Even Robinson had to smile at that one.
His acceleration, just stopping and putting up the shot, is very valuable for this team. Not many guys can do it in this league.
Famous left hand. Oh, he was coming in with the left hand. I thought we were going to see it, but instead he's in the corner. Driving in now from the left side. He's going to put it up, and that one's good. So famous left hand going to draw his 8th points of the night on that one. A very well-rounded scoring effort for the Yellow Jackets.
They've been a bit inconsistent in terms of field goal percentage, which they are second to last in the league. So living up to the numbers, but got to do better.
So now Mitch Brizzy on the drive. He's going to move this one over to Holden. Holden now still on the perimeter. He scrolls it. He's going to move it over to Brizzy, who's going to get it right back to him. Holden falls for a moment, but he's going to regain his composure. Send it cross court to Anderson, who's got the lane and got the shot.
High arcing floater drops for big number 11 for your Cats.
And now here's Jalen Tott bringing it up for the Yellow Jackets on the other end. He's going to use a screen, move out right, then send it back out for Cooper DeWitt. DeWitt now out for Johnson. Johnson, he's got Mav Sanders right in front of him there. This one's going to get shot outright. And here comes Robinson working against Brizzy. Oh, and a whole lot of contact on that one.
The floor, though.
He hits the shot. And they're going to call that against Brizzy.
I believe they're calling that on the floor, though. They waved off the shot.
That was the blocking foul, yeah. Wow. So, honestly, a good job by Brizzy to save the shot from falling on that one. Now the Wildcats, who have been great defensively tonight, have a shot at stopping a possession for the Yellow Jackets and getting their way just a little bit closer to this win. 6:34 remains in this final half of action. Your Wildcats lead it by 9, 63-54. Robinson going to nail the shoulder into Maverick, who will draw a blocking foul. Oh, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's he's definitely got to work on his acting career. You can kind of see
he's got the soccer thing going on, you know, where he just kind of.
Luckily, he's got 2 more years to improve that.
Hey, you know, but
not
maybe,
the most fun type of basketball to watch.
Maybe a career as a professional wrestler in the future, because he can take a bump. Now here's I almost said Orlando Robinson. Here's Robinson handing it off to Tot. So Jalen Tot, the main scorer and shot taker on this team, is going to miss another. He has not been great from the field tonight. Here's Maverick Sanders coming in from the right side. Stops, spins, hits his man on the outside. Garrett Anderson is off. And then the rebound will fall with Montana State Billings, get smacked out of bounds, and they'll say a win off of Swilly.
Largest deficit of the game for MSUB has been 9 points. That's where we sit now. They're back on the offensive end of the floor, looking to cut that a little bit shorter.
And so now Jalen Tot will bring it up. It almost looked like they were trying to
oh my gosh,
hit the shot saver roll.
Kevin Holden and Jalen Tot are wearing the same shoes.
Oh, man, they actually are. Wow, that's kind of beautiful a little bit, as that shot's going to be missed, and the Wildcats will rear end the rebound, of course. Now, here's Maverick Sanders. He's going to drive in, stop near the free throw line, hit Kevin Holden. Holden now on the drive. He's going to try to move it over for Swilly, but instead it gets picked off. Here comes Jalen Tot to the corner, and that one's off. Johnson unable to hit. Now the rebound going to fall with Jordan Clark.
He's hit a couple. He's just looking to hit a few more to bring him back into this game. Lead still stands at 9 for the Cats. Slowing it down.
Yeah, I mean, chew this clock at this point. At this point, you're running it out.
Yep.
I want to see inside zone 5 times in a row right now.
I do.
I need halfback dive. As now Jordan Clark pulls up from deep and knocks it down.
Automatic. Jordan Clark, 51% from the three-point line this season. He's all smiles. He knows it.
And that was the long bomb we didn't list on that list there, brother. Let me tell you, a great opportunity to take, a great shot to make. 3 more points on the board for the Cats. And as we send it off to break, they lead it by 12. We'll be back in just a moment on 88.1 The Berg. .1 The Berg, your Music Central. Ryan Gildersleeve here alongside Jackson Roberts. Let me tell you, folks, we got 5 minutes and 7 seconds left of this prime basketball action between your Wildcats and the opposing Montana State Billings Yellow Jackets. Well, let me tell you, folks, tonight has been quite the I don't even know. I mean, I'd like to call it a tussle. I mean, eventful for sure. But, yeah, the Wildcats leading it by 12. 5 minutes remaining in the matchup. And they've got a great shot at this one. Both teams tied with 4 fouls as it currently stands, so not a big factor as of now. But Robinson is going to, well, yeah, they'll call that a foul.
Yeah.
They'll call that a foul.
So it's going to go on Kevin Holden, his second of the night. Kevin Holden's starting to heat up a little bit here in this second half, where these players are needed most. And, hey, we're under the 5-minute mark. 2 missed free throws here. We got the Carl's Jr. sign up right there.
It's on now, they say.
Robinson, 82% from the line on the season.
And he missed the first one.
So you're saying there's a chance.
One more. That's all we got to hope for at this point. Let me tell you now.
I have never hoped for a missed free throw more in my life, Ryan.
And let me tell you, the Nicholson Pavilion's coming alive for it. You can hear it. And he made it. So a heartbreaker there as he puts another point up on the board. 66-55 now your score. 11 points separate these two squads as Bradley Swilly's going to send it over to Jordan Clark. Clark now, he's matched up with Jawan Todd. He's got Jalen Todd just in front of him, though. And now it'll be Kevin Holden moving it over to Anderson. Anderson faced with the same defenders. That zone defense is really showing itself now. Garrett Anderson receives the pass. Still on the perimeter. 5 seconds to work with. Got to find a shot. He's going to hit Clark. Take the 3. Miss it. So the pick and pop, or excuse me, the pull-up shot's just not going to fall for him there. And now with 4:23 remaining, we'll see the Montana State Billings Yellow Jacket squad. And in their attempt to throw a couple up on the board here. I'd imagine they're trying to throw a few on the board on this drive, though.
Yeah, you need to.
As now Robinson against Swilly, and again, a no call on the blocking, what would have been either a blocking foul or a charge, or, yeah.
9-point lead now for the Wildcats, 4 minutes on the clock.
Oh, Bradley Swilly had a second there, but he was looking for the next man. Oh, he's being too selfless. As now Kevin Holden's got the ball in his hand. You're right. I mean, hey, what would we say? Inside zone and halfback dive. That's what we're looking for here.
You're going for the deep shot, Ryan.
Yeah, well, we already saw the cheap shot. Thank you, Jordan Clark. As he's going to pass this one in for Maverick Sanders. Uses the shoulder, gets some separation, finds his point guard, takes it. That one's off. And the rebound goes to Jalen Tott.
What a swing pass, though, from Mav.
3.5 remain. Still 9 points separating these two squads. Jalen Tott to the corner for famous left hand. Left hand. Stepping to his right, towards the top of the key, working against Bradley Swilly. He's going to use that shoulder, post up, spin move, takes it and makes it. 2 more points for the Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, cutting that lead just a little bit shorter, keeping their hopes alive right now.
So 7 points now, the difference maker between these two teams. And Jordan Clark's going to hold it once more.
Zone defense look once again from MSUB.
And he's going to head out left, now hand it off for Holden. Holden uses the screen, hits his man, and now a wide open lane for Anderson, who gets blocked. Now Anderson, he's got 3 seconds to try something again. He's going to take a deep 3 and knock it down!
Oh my goodness! Put the game away, Garrett Anderson.
What a shot for the number 11's 11th of the game. They're going to take a timeout. We'll take one too. Be back with you in just a moment on 88.1 The Berg and your CW Athletics live stream. .88 The Berg, your music central, as well as the CW Athletics live stream. Let me tell you, folks, Ryan Gildersleeve here and Jackson Roberts, and we have witnessed what has been an exhilarating couple of matchups here tonight. Now, of course, in your first matchup of the night, we saw the women's basketball team dethrone the number 6 ranked national D2 team in Montana State Billings. Now, the Wildcats going to face the men's squad, which of course not of the same caliber, but still a big win to register in the books if you can. As of now, the Wildcats have only lost 1 divisional game, and it was to Western. So if this game goes well, a 6-1 start, it's going to get you in the playoffs one way or another.
The only team to beat last year's Wildcat team on the home court was MSUB. Wildcats are trying to keep it in the hands of their hands here.
So Jalen Tott with a perfect pass and a perfect, wow, that was just great.
Quick score, too.
That was great. Let me tell you, if you've got a young kid right now and you're trying to teach him how to play basketball, show him some Jalen Tott highlights. As now here's Kevin Holden. He's going to take a step to the left, and they'll foul. So it seems we might be beginning the foul parade at 2 minutes and 16 seconds left.
Yeah, I mean, that's really what they might have to do, honestly.
So
the Wildcats are draining the clock, and remember, it's 30-second shot clock here in college basketball.
And so it'll be Garrett
Nope.
It'll be Bradley Swilly. A quick switch right there as Swilly gets ready to be the inbounder. Right in front of him, he's got DeWitt. He's going to send this one over to Kevin Holden. Holden now moving his way out right, passes it to the top of the key, and Brizzy. Brizzy now back to him. And Holden with famous left hand in front of him. He's got 10 seconds to drain now, which would get them under 2 minutes. Now collapsing, stepping back, takes the spin shot. Missed. Rebound now going to fall for Brendan Johnson.
Game is not away just yet.
Now here's Cooper DeWitt on the drive, stopping, shooting, scoring.
Wow, clutch offensive buckets for MSUB here.
So now 6 points for Montana State Billings is the deficit they have to make up. Bradley Swilly going to swing it to Clark. Clark now on the right side.
Keep it in Clark's hands here. Oh,
Well, they're trying to foul him, but if you can keep yourself away from him, then do it. Gets it over to Jordan Clark. And maybe not, actually, as they're going to get a little bit less aggressive here. Let's see what Johnson can do defensively against Clark. Clark now stops and takes the mid-range, and that is I don't even know. I was going to say that is a nail in the coffin, but I just don't think I can discount him yet. As
no.
Jalen Tott's going to give us a reason. He scores on the other end, cuts it back down to a 6-point separation, and that's going to result in a timeout from the other end. We'll take one, too. Be back in just a moment on 88.1 The Berg. .1 The Berg, your music central. Ryan Gildersleeve here alongside Jackson Roberts as we get ready for what should be an exhilarating final minute and 5 seconds. Jackson, we've got a 6-point lead for the Wildcats here right now. Now, what I am going to also say is that we've seen the Wildcats come back from bigger deficits than this, so why discount the Yellow Jackets?
Well, we just need to play a safe offensive basketball. Keep 2 hands on the ball. Do not force anything. Obviously, you're going to be receiving double teams, but just got to be safe here.
So now Garrett Anderson going to pass this one into Clark. Clark now is going to be
Perfect.
fouled, and it seems the parade has begun, ladies and gentlemen.
That's who we want with the ball in their hands at the line, but still, we've got a couple more to go. Maverick Sanders will be checking into the game. Looks like for Mitch Brizzi, get your best shooters out on the floor. Whoever's fouled, I'm confident any guy on this floor can make 2 free throws.
I can't disagree with that. It almost seems as though that's what was intended here. And now it's going to be Garrett Anderson, the inbounder for the Cats here. In front of him, he's got Cooper DeWitt. It's interesting to see what the Wildcats are going to do as Clark's going to get it. Now it's going to be Garrett Anderson, and the foul will be registered by Todd. So his third of the game, that will send the Wildcats into the bonus. And with 1 minute and 1 second remaining in this matchup, they're going to take their first 1-and-1 from the line.
Garrett Anderson, 81% from the line on the season. Your third leading scorer for the Wildcats. Had such a strong start to the season. Has seen his role diminish just a little bit. But now it's in his hands in the biggest point of the game.
Takes it. Knocks down the first.
Pressure. Or no, pressure is not a thing for Garrett Anderson. We saw him hit that mean step-back 3.
Call this man Alec Manoa, the way that to him pressure is just something that goes in your tires.
Yes, that's right.
As the second one's going to be hit, let me tell you, he's way better than Alec Manoa. He's got an actual workout routine. One way or another, here comes Jalen Tott to get those 2 points back immediately for the Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, they're going to call a timeout. Maverick Sanders was worried about getting the 5-second violation there, not getting the ball in time. Smart play by him. Wildcats had a few to spare.
And so now the timeout called, and we're going to take one, too. Be back in just a moment on 88.1 The Berg.
You could say that.
88.1 The Berg, your music central, as well as the CW Athletics live stream. Let me tell you, I was just serenading Jackson here with the sweet, sweet sounds of some I'm Still Standing by Elton John. Gotta love the Siwoo Pep Band. That's where my props are going here tonight. Yep. I mean, they are just so much fun to listen to watch. When they're hypnotizing people, they're shouting at people, they're doing whatever you need them to do. You gotta love them. Setting the environment.
Wildcat faithful everywhere here.
As now Garrett Anderson, a foul's going to be called.
And that's going to send someone to the line. I'm not quite sure
who
it looks
like Jalen Tott fouled Bradley Swilly. So, interesting decision there, I'll tell you that much.
A little too handsy.
Yeah.
Jalen Tott, now with his 4th foul on the night. He gets one more, he will be out of here. And that'll be a threat to MSUB as they will have one of their best shooters off the floor.
Right, and I mean, especially at a time like now where you absolutely have to hit at least 1 3 to get yourself a win here tonight.
Swilly on the line, has not missed yet this season.
Yeah,
pressure is on him. Just goes in the tire.
And it's going to go. First one good for Bradley Swilly.
Good to see there from Bradley Swilly back in this lineup for the Wildcats. Has been so good in his time back. Second free throw of the 1-and-1.
It's up. And he's still perfect.
Drops in after a couple hits on the rim.
Now Jalen Tott to the corner for Johnson. Takes it. Misses. Rebound to the Cats. And Jordan Clark will be the one fouled here. Yeah, they're going to call for the jump ball, but I don't know about all of that.
That is the perfect man to receive that rebound. Yeah. Over 90% on the season from the line. 94%.
So, once again, we are at the charity stripe, Jackson.
I can confidently say this is the best free throw shooter on the team.
Yeah.
And I'd say best shooter overall. Shooting 50, 40, 90 on the season, not in the most regular way. 50% from 3.
Yeah. Here it comes. It's up.
Oh.
No good. Rebound goes to Robinson, and here come the Yellow Jackets. 45 seconds on the clock. This one now, and it's an easy open lane for Cooper DeWitt.
Looked like a over and under foul.
Hey, now Maverick Sanders going to be fouled. 40 seconds on the clock. 6 points separate these two squads.
Sorry, correction. It looked like a carry there is what I meant.
Right.
Looked like he kind of brought it up, hesitated, and that's what Coach Rinta was looking at.
Right.
But now it's Maverick Sanders, 2 shots at the line.
So Maverick, a chance to get himself his 18th of the night with his second shot if he makes it.
Give him 17 now for the sophomore. And it's been great watching him grow as a player, even last year.
Second shot from Maverick. Give it to him. So now 40 seconds remain. And here comes Jalen Tott, racing forward, still going for layups, I suppose, as Kevin Holden's going to get it, and he's going to pass it over to Maverick Sanders. Play and keep away here. Maverick will be sent to the line again, which means that post free throw, there will not be a shot clock.
Yep.
29.4 seconds on the clock here, as it appears as though your Wildcats are closing in on a big victory here tonight, advancing themselves to 6-1, and really paving the path to the playoffs for the Wildcats, Jackson.
5 of 7 at the line tonight. Oh, man.
So let's talk about the playoffs, Jackson.
Let's talk about the playoffs. Last year's GNAC tournament was hosted here at the Pavilion, and it was one of the most electric crowds ever.
Second one goes. It worked, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, get ready for the playoffs because
we'll be there.
Surely are. Yeah. And so, was that a timeout just called? Or are we still discussing?
Just quick substitutions, I believe.
Okay,
Get your best defensive players on the floor, which is interesting
nothing to
take
discuss
out Maverick.
at this point.
Interesting we take out Maverick in this situation, but.
And so now the inbound is to Jalen Tott. Now it's going to be a 3-point taken by DeWitt. It's off, and the Wildcats come in with the rebound. Bradley Swilly going to receive it. And Bradley Swilly, show off a little, why don't ya?
Showtime for B. Swilly right there.
You love to see it. A knife in the heart. So 14.7 seconds after that shot lands, there's no purpose in fouling anymore. Jalen Tott misses it. Bradley Swilly gives it up to Holden. Do it again! Bang! That's what I like to see.
Turn me up, Kevin.
That's what I like to see.
Wow, what a matchup between these two teams. Oh, a little bit of
extracurricular
after the game.
Yeah, they don't have to like the result, though. At the end of the day, the court showed all that needed to have been shown at the end of the day. Hey, if there's a tussle here, I'm throwing this headset and jumping over the press booth.
Not the way you want to see the game end, with the little bit of bickering between the two teams, but what a matchup it was tonight. Wildcats hold MSUB to 69 points, and there's a reason why they're one of the least scoring teams in the GNAC, and they held them to under that average of 71, keep them at 69.
Hey, one way or another, as angry as you may be about what happened, this is not the place to handle it. The place to handle it is on the court. Not once the buzzer's already sounded, not before the buzzer sounds. One way or another, we witnessed a great matchup by your Wildcats here tonight where they outclassed their opponents. A great matchup for the Wildcats, and they have set themselves up perfectly for what should be an incredible couple of games moving forward. Let me tell you, you just love to see a Wildcat win in the PAV.
Brings the Wildcats up to 6-1 in conference play, 12-5 on the season. And you know what? Fun stat. Puts Coach Rinta over 500 in his career in Gene action, and just 5 wins away from career win number 100 as a Wildcats.
Ladies and gentlemen, just an overall incredible night. Unfortunately, we do not have any matchups for you next week, I do not believe.
No, away games.
But we will be back the week following as we get ready for more Gene action here in the PAV. Ladies and gentlemen, for 88-1 The Berg, for the CW Wildcats Athletic live stream, for Jackson Roberts and for Ryan Gildersleeve, myself, we are signing out.